Okay, Jeremy is up now, and Julio is up next, if you're perfect.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Epstein from the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy, and I'm here to tell you about public service by technologists and why you should consider spending part of your career in public service. And the analog to this is pro bono work that lawyers do. If you're not familiar with it, lawyers are expected to spend some part of their time in the US and Europe, maybe in other parts of the world, I don't know, doing things that help society, whether it's service in government, service for nonprofits, for people who need help but can't afford lawyers, et cetera. And we technologists don't have a tradition of doing this, and we need to do this because there's too much stuff that goes on that needs people like you, the technical experts, and not just permanent government people. So we have a lot of programs, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit from a US perspective, but the same issues and the same needs exist pretty much in every country. So there's a whole bunch of different programs you can do that some of you might be familiar with, so let me quickly run through some examples. Within government, we have something called Presidential Innovation Fellows, where you come in for a year or two and work in government service. There's the US Digital Service, where we look for specifically technologists coming from tech companies to come in and solve specific technical problems across government. IEEE runs a Congressional Fellows Program for mid-career people, junior and mid-career people. The American Association for the Advancement of Science runs programs for sort of postdoc type folks to spend a few years working in Congress or in the executive branch. The Tech Congress runs programs for folks to spend a few years working in Congress. These are all looking for technology experts. We also had a workshop at the White House the day before yesterday where we rolled out a bunch of private foundations that are doing a bunch of things to increase the opportunities for public service. For those of you who are students in the US or faculty in the US, there's something called Scholarships for Service, CyberScore Scholarships for Service, where the government will pay your tuition and pay you a stipend, and in exchange you agree to work for the government for some years after graduation. There's other variations on that coming down the path. For those of you who are already faculty, consider coming to the government on what's called an IPA. Many different government agencies. I came to the government as an IPA for 2 years. I've now been there 11. There's certain advantages to doing IPAs. I'm happy to talk to anybody about this. If you don't want to be full-time, but you want to participate in things, ACM has an organization called the European Technology Policy Committee and one called the US Technology Policy Committee. I used to head the US one. These are groups of people who work in the public interest to address technology problems for the government, and these are volunteer activities. So why should you do this? It's interesting stuff. You have an amazing amount of influence on the direction that things go. It's not just sitting there writing memos or writing code. We actually convene groups and make things happen, and a lot of times when you see new regulations coming out, a lot of that is driven by people like you who have come into government, spent a short time, whether it's a few months or a few years, to solve a problem and then go back to academia or industry or whatever. There's a lot of opportunities. I'm happy to talk to people about opportunities in the US government. If you're interested in other governments, find your local government person who's equivalent to me, because every government has the same needs for bringing more technologists in. Thank you.